Warning, this podcast contains material not suitable for younger audiences, and some material that's not suitable for older audiences. If you're part of any age group, we've found a way to offend you. Run while you still can. We are the hapless heroes.
Oh, Grundleston, I'll do whatever you want. I'll become one of your goose people. Honk, 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 honk.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Hapless Heroes podcast. I'm Francesco, and I have returned tonight once again as your host and DM. I feel very good about this. I'm ready. I've been taking some time preparing, and I'm joined by a lovely cast of characters tonight. To my left, we have Dave playing Zero, Valen's Avatar of War.
What? It's so good to be back.
Jarrell's dick just got
Who? He's cuming all over himself.
Hey, there it is.
Oh, that was pretty quick.
Context, John dumped a bunch of cumin on himself in my kitchen earlier tonight.
Yeah.
We had a spicy accident.
I wanted that to happen, and I wasn't even mentally there for it.
Right. And speaking of
Not
John,
as good as it sounds.
John is sitting right to the left of Dave, and he's playing Lord Jarrell the Light.
Extremely jealous, but also in Jarrell's mind, I told you this thing was dangerous. Now look where we are.
Right. To his left, Massimo playing Morton Mac, a.k.a. Gorgeous Mort.
Good evening, friendos.
That ain't right.
To his left, Zach playing Peridot Lincoln Woods.
Let's fuck this chicken.
To his left, James playing Hoblet the Smasher.
Good evening, friendo.
And last but never least, Mike playing Lord and Captain Quinn Southwind.
Thank you for joining us, countrymen.
And somewhere in the background, that was Kingsley acknowledging Quinn's excellent title.
Said countryman.
Said countryman, yes. So when we last left the party, as you may have heard in our recap last week, they were suspended
Rattling around inside.
in midair. Yeah,
Crashing.
many of them rattling around inside a now crashing airship as its wings were singed off.
Can you really be suspended while you're careening?
Well, listen,
I mean, it depends on how fast you're going down, right?
We're suspended in time while you are careening down to the earth.
I got
So
you.
yeah, you can be.
Yeah.
To answer your question.
Mid-careen.
Short answer, yes.
We suspended the plot mid-careen.
Mid-careen,
Yeah.
correct.
Coming
Yes.
back from the cliffhanger.
Duke
Right.
Boy style.
Right. And we're gonna kind of do this in a series of beats, right? Because it's all happening really quickly, but at this point, when you realize that your options are almost like very limited,
Like try to buckle in.
either buckle in, which you already
Find a
tried to do
parachute.
and failed,
Yeah, yeah.
and that's why people are swinging around. Jumping out of this thing is probably not advised given how high in the air you are.
Unless you can fly.
So we're just going to open it back up into this thing is now plummeting back towards Telduria.
Can we try to get drunk and land the thing upside down like that Denzel Washington movie?
How many seconds do we have? Let's start this off right. Pound of beer.
You know what?
Freezer
You guys
beer.
have
Freezer beer.
20 seconds.
Can we invert the bird?
Okay.
19 seconds.
Peridot gets drunk.
We're going to roll initiative.
Oh,
shit.
okay. For all of us who are actually here.
Yep.
Fucking
Just chilling.
You can put Holly to that.
Don't worry, this is going to go quickly.
It will. Did we also explain that we leveled up mid careen? Or is that something that we do off mic?
Actually, yeah. Hold on. Let me
bring it up.
let me roll this back a little bit because I don't necessarily want to fuck with this landing too much. I hope you don't
Okay.
mind me kiboshing that idea.
No,
I kind of
no.
want to get us to actually open up to where we're supposed to open because like thinking about it, making this airship thing a thing, we might take an entire episode doing that.
Yeah,
So like I kind of want to like roll it back a little bit if you're cool with that.
Yeah, whatever.
Yes.
I mean, I feel like if we're gonna crash, let's just
crash.
Let's just
So we're
crash.
not
So
gonna
I'm going to
invert
go
the
back
bird.
from this is just sort of a series of beats, right?
You're the head chicken.
Unless
fucker.
anybody
Let's
really
do it.
has anything that they want to prepare, I guess.
No,
Yeah.
I think that let's
I don't
just
think
let's
there's
just let
anything
it
we can do.
let's just
Okay.
let it run its course.
Okay.
Okay. So we kind of start by you guys looking on helplessly as the controls in this thing are going completely haywire because its means of stabilization are no longer, a part of it.
They're looping. They're chirping.
And there's like a beat, and then you're much closer to the ground, and you can see that you guys are heading towards like ocean, but not far from the shore on the other side of the mountain
Oh.
where Teldoria was.
Water landing's probably safer than just into mountain.
Right. But, and then there's another beat, and you guys are like very close to the surface. Like you're about to hit the water. You're maybe a mile away from shore.
Morgan
then-
is crying,
Yeah.
emotional.
Yeah, you probably don't even have time to think. It's just like,
yeah.
I mean, I guess 20
Panicking.
seconds, if you think about it, right? It'd probably take about 20 seconds for you guys to hit the ground.
Right.
That's enough time to contemplate that you're falling. You know what I'm saying? And probably frantically reaching for controls. You can even see that Mr. Black is trying frantically to like pilot this thing, right? Because he's still with you guys too. He was the one in the helm of this thing. And you can see that he's beginning to like just kind of brace himself. He sort of like puts his like sort of hand in front of his face, and you can see like the scythe appear, and he tries to cut a hole in reality to step through. But then it's just black as you hit the water. Another flash of consciousness.
Like
You
the
guys-
color black, or it's just him?
Like no.
Yeah, we should.
That's funny. Yeah, good catch. So no, black is in like you guys like blackout. The impact
Naked on.
knocked you out.
Got it.
So we have a beat of consciousness. You guys are underwater. The parts of this thing are sort of floating around. It's mainly intact, but there's just the whole front of this thing has been obliterated.
Yeah.
Are we still in our armor?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Some of you are sinking. Some of you are, just sort of being propelled, like you're just kind of seeing the blue, and just sort of sinking deeper, and then another flash of consciousness. And you can hear voices, and you feel yourself being dragged onto a shore, but like you can barely move your limbs, like you're just like numb, like maybe like clinging to life. Another flash, and you see the inside of a room. Your companions laying beside you and across from you in different sort of makeshift beds, and what appears to be someone sort of like in armor, sort of pacing, presiding over you guys with a few different like folks in robes. Another flash of consciousness, and eeny, meeny, miny, Peridil. You open your eyes.
Blink.
Blunk. You feel
That was one at a time. Was that?
you feel incredibly ill, very weak, like exhausted, like every muscle in your body aches.
Every muscle in my body aches.
I would like actually everybody right now, besides Zero, to reduce their HP total to 1.
Fantastic.
Well, you know what, Fran? I'd like you to do some things too, bud.
Why did I just increase mine?
Current HP total of 1.
Yes.
Okay.
That's not good.
I mean, no.
I'm not comf.
Was everybody else
Good news.
aware of that?
I kept my healing spells equipped, so.
So did I.
Peridot, what do you do as you sort of are the first person to be opening your eyes? You can see that your companions are all laying like around you. Mr. Black is not in among the company of your party. It is just the group of you. Felix is also here.
So I sort of pat myself. I'm seeing like what am I still wearing my armor? Do I still have like my weapons on?
You're
me?
actually wearing a very plain gown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No brooch or anything?
No.
No earrings?
No.
Okay.
Does he have his headband?
Yeah, do I have my headband?
There's definitely something wrapped around your head.
Okay. What do I see as I'm laying on my back?
Yes.
And what do I see as I look up?
Like into the ceiling?
Mm-hmm.
It looks like it's like sort of stone carved like archways that kind of meet at a point in the ceiling. It's all like, sort of like a wood ceiling with these like, like big giant support beams, but it's stone kind of like all around it, like, and the walls around you.
Mm-hmm. Am I restrained at all?
No, you are not restrained.
I sit up and look around the room.
Yeah. So minus your companion sort of laying in different beds, like very, not far from you.
Mm-hmm.
Manservant is in a full body cast.
Yes. Yes. And
Poor manservant.
See the one that I fucked up. I can never remember which one I mentally tortured.
Oh, Franz.
It was
the
Franz?
minstrel. Yeah.
Did he
Who is
ever come
missing?
back? Yeah, he never
No,
came
no,
back.
no,
no,
Yeah.
he came back,
Yeah.
and that was Hans, his squire, and he came back, crashing into the.
Oh, you're
Yeah.
right.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah. Right. No, Franz, the soother, his bard, minstrel, more like. Sorry.
Strumpet.
He's not with the group?
Is not among those of your group in this room.
Oh no.
Hans is unconscious. You can see that both of his arms are in casts.
Did I just crush my retainers when we landed?
I'm guessing that's exactly what happened. They both came to you, wrapped themselves around you.
Made a little Jarrell
You
cocoon.
landed on the
Is
one
that what
that's
I
in the full body cast, and you just broke the arms
Yeah.
of the one that landed on top of you.
They did a 2-person Groot protective ball.
Jarrell must survive.
Was Franz in that ball?
We don't know.
Oh, no.
No, I envision Franz probably got smushed by an unsecured footlocker.
I mean, and that's all you can do is speculate because the details of the event are a little hazy. It all happened so fast. Peridot, it's starting to kind of come back to you that what happened before you ended up here. With Zvekna essentially swallowing the city of Tarantis in some big magical bubble.
Mm-hmm. We barely got out.
Yeah.
Careened through the air.
Right.
As crashing,
And then
tumbling around the whatever the cab of the thing.
right. The helm of it, yeah. And it's just you have no idea how long it's been. You don't know where you are.
Mm-hmm.
But one other thing you notice, besides the people in the beds,
Mm-hmm.
is there it does appear to be still that sort of it looks like very ornately armored man with these two people in plain robes sort of walking with him. His back is towards you. He's kind of walking down a little further out into the room. That's more where the Jarrell's retainers are. Mort is laid on the other side of them.
Can I call out to them?
Yeah, you can attempt to speak. Yeah.
All right, I attempt to say, "Hey."
What's going on?
The
Where am I?
the larger armored man kind of turns around and he says, "Oh," and you see him sort of whisper something to the two plainclothed individuals next to him, and they scurry out of the room, and he begins walking towards you.
Okay, I sort of
Right, you kind of just
sit more upright.
right.
I'm on guard as he's approaching me.
He comes up to you and he says, "You. Who are you?"
Who am I? Who are you? Where am I? How did I get here?
This is long story.
Oh, it seems like I got some time. Let's let's put a pen to paper.
I am not the one who's going to be asking questions
Not doing a good job so far.
because there are some people who want to speak to you about what happens. Do you remember what happened to you?
Can I get something to eat first?
Yes, of course. I apologize. It's just there's
And can you tell me where I am and
This
how I
is-
got here, please?
we pulled you from the water in your weird flying ship, and then magic just it went away.
Magic went away.
It is a hard thing to describe. It's still okay. So it's still here. but it's not like here. It's different.
All right, give me a sandwich now. I'm done. I'm done listening to you.
I should probably tell you, all of you here are being blamed for the loss of magic.
Does that preclude me from getting a sandwich?
I am saying that in the time it takes me to go get you a sandwich, you may be carried away by the authorities.
Well, I guess you better hurry up then.
Roll me an intimidation at disadvantage. 'Cause
It's a 5.
he looks at your bandaged up head and sort of your very like, your body and just like being like like you just woke up from like a coma. And he just walks away.
Are any of us awake yet?
Yeah, you guys start.
Did
you
we
guys
catch all that?
a lot of the. I mean, the noise of the discussion began to stir.
Okay.
All of you. In fact, you know what? Just to see who knows what, and who's more aware of what. Everyone, just give me perception checks, except for Peridot.
Jarrell's like super perceptive all the time, so this is gonna go great. 3.
Respectable 11.
Hey,
Nobody saw this coming.
What?
17.
No.
10.
Okay, so Hoblet heard all of that. The rest of you just heard a lot of shouting.
All right.
Well, not shouting, but more like, know,
Talking about a sandwich.
Gruff dialogue.
snarky tones. All of you feel god awful as you're stirring awake. I mean, like literally, like your muscles and your bones are just like on fire.
I'm gonna sit up. Just am I next to Peridot maybe or near him?
Yeah. Well, you know what? I'll put you next to Peridot.
Okay. I'm just gonna give him a look. What a twat that guy was.
Seriously,
I could go for a sandwich too.
tell me about it.
Just call a guy going to get him a sandwich a twat?
I'm gonna
Kind
give you
of
guys.
Go
places
get the
this?
sandwich. He just
I don't
left.
think he's going to get the sandwich at all. He's out of here.
I'm gonna give you guys a moment to. We're gonna sort of yada something like you guys are starting to discuss amongst yourselves just for a second. There's a lull here at least. Maybe like this Peridot explains like what's going on, or you guys are starting to sort of get to your bearings.
I would like
Can
to do
I
something.
ask you a question?
Yeah.
I have some advantages to poisons and stuff.
Mhm.
Am I still feeling bad?
You're not poisoned.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're just badly beaten.
You just crashed and maybe
Yeah, we fell in a
skid.
thing from like probably a few hundred feet in the air.
Now,
Can I-
Jarrell, not having really perceived what Peridot was talking about, would like to try to use aid.
You can try to use aid.
Okay. What happens? Because I didn't catch that whole with my 3 roll.
You right now, while you feel that you are still connected to the divine power that you possess, feel strangely like you feel like whatever, like if you're trying to cast a spell, there's something. It feels different.
Just not right about whatever is usually supposed to happen when I cast aid.
It just like you, the way it courses through you, the way that it, like the way that you even like summon forth the energy, just feels like this is like it's like when your muscle memory is disturbed by something that is not, what I'm saying, part of.
Yeah.
Right.
Am I able to do it? Does it work?
It does work.
Okay. Do I still expend just a 2nd level spell slot?
Yes, it
All
still
right.
operates exactly the same way. You successfully cast aid, but it felt weird.
All right. Quinn, Morton, Peridot, you guys get 5 HP back.
Nice.
Is it temporary HP or is it HP?
For the duration, it's 8 hours.
Oh yeah, so it's
temporary HP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It goes away after 8 hours, but you have it right now.
You got a little cushion. Great. I want to cut the camera for a second. 0. Last time we left you, you were at the keep, having just been beamed down by Valen after completing something with her. Looking all...
Yeah. It's a very different Zero that's come back.
Right.
Hang on, let me get everything in focus. Set up the camera.
Yeah. So we're sort of back in sort of the...
Okay, everything. I got it.
Oh, I hate you.
Is Zero at the keep?
Back at the keep, you're even gonna see a little thing flash in front of the frame of the camera. 1 month earlier.
Oh?
Zero shows up at the keep to find the basement in flames. The interns, scattered, trying to put out the flames, and while also realizing that Zero, looks way more badass than he did when he left you, if that was even possible, and is very angry, but also oddly surprised and happy to see this random teenager that popped out of the portal you just closed. Interns.
Oh, Basha's here.
And
Hi, Basha.
Minus
Right.
Spanx. Spanx is not here.
Spanx is not here. We're gonna sort of Zero's sort of dealing with this whole situation, yelling at the interns, just trying to figure it out. And
I'm sorry. Zero.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Your jaw works now, remember?
right.
Yeah, but did it work 3 months ago?
I can't remember.
I don't think it did. I think it just only recently started working.
And then there is, after the flames are put out, you guys kind of get back to your things. Zero starts taking charge over everything. Life is normal for a few days, right? You guys are just hanging out, doing your thing. And then, we'll say about 3 days later, there's a knock at the door.
Well,
Of the
Zero
keep.
will go to the door because he can't count on anybody else to actually get it done.
No. Stenton might be nearby. Just watching. Because
Yeah.
he wants to know how to do things right.
Chubbs?
Yeah, he's...
Chubbs is in the background, just giving 1,000 yard stare at the door. Slowly backing up.
He's there long enough to watch Zero go and answer the door.
Doors have wronged this man in the past.
Into the darkness. I
Right.
just keep backing up slowly and further
Sure,
away.
sure. Zero, you answer the
and
door.
Zero opens the door.
Right. Outside the door is none other than Baroness Anasterian and a company of her royal guard.
Her very self.
Captain Kip. Just remember, she just goes by a different name now.
A dirty lady cop.
Jarrell's employer.
She says, Zero,
What brings you here, my ladyship?
terrible things, my friend. You're looking different. We need to talk about this another time.
You understand that with my adventuring company, terrible is a sliding scale.
No, this is beyond anything that you're fantastic. And she sort of really forces herself to say the word because she knows that you can see that her company is listening, and to them, you are the heroes of the kingdom of Vesh.
Yeah.
So she is trying to make sure, you can tell she is strained when she is saying these words.
Trying to uphold the veneer.
Right. Your fantastic band of do-gooders.
He nods in polite acknowledgement, both of what she's saying out loud for them, but also, acknowledging that she's right on the money with what she's trying to hide from them, too.
Right. Have found themselves in... Well... I need you to collect your things and come with me.
Absolutely. I'll be ready in about an hour.
Okay. And so, Zero, you're aware that also the last time you spoke to your party, they were dealing with something in Tarantus because they were asking you, they were talking to you through Valen about what you saw through the orb.
Let's see. Oh, did Zero see the event through the orb?
No, probably not.
He did
We
not.
Had, had him all in the
However, you did notice that it just felt like something changed, but you couldn't put your finger on it because, like, while you may have, had this sort of connection with Valen, like, you came back, you're here, you're back in the material plane, and you're still very much just a material being. You're made of, like, magic, but...
There's an adjustment period here where just kind of staying outside of the world, even if it was here at the keep, outside of the outside world for a while to adjust to some pretty significant things that have happened here.
Right. So... Kip, sorry, her Baronessness.
DLC.
Says something awful has happened in Tarantus, and I don't know if your friends are safe.
Make it a half hour.
Okay. You get yourself ready, and like you are escorted out, and like when you get to Erelon, you are like the party of sort of guards and infantrymen grows as they begin the ride to the west, all the way from Erelon, all the way towards Tarantus.
Zero is making this trip riding a recently refurbished and rebuilt 0.5.
Awesome. Did you bring any of the interns
which
with
is
you?
now...
Does it have a head this time?
0.5, has a head, which looks approximately like a horse, except that it's like Ferrari candy apple red.
Excellent.
And robotic.
Yes, and robotic, but, the shape and the locomotion is a pretty good approximation of a horse, except that this one can handle, carrying my 550-pound ass.
Does it shoot lasers?
No.
But it's red, so it goes faster.
Yeah.
The bullet holes are for speed.
So...
Also...
God damn it.
I like how you were diving. I was watching that whole thing set up, and Fran was so serious.
That was the best part of that whole engagement.
Really just killing my my flow here. I'm just kidding. Along the ride and the journey, because this is just going to take some time, there's some things worth noting. I'm going to kind of sort of fast forward through this and just kind of give you the skinny here. Kip begins to explain to you that something has changed with magic. The local, like the kingdom, like wizards have reported as much, and that Tarantus is gone. But she just keeps saying it's gone, and I'm gonna have you roll me an insight check just to kind of see if you're gonna be prepared for what you see or not.
Is an 8.
Okay, so you think that she's like it's gone, as in like it's been like raised, or like it's been lost, or something like that, right? You notice that the trains are no longer running as you ride in the highlands near the Grey Citadel, because you're kind of having to make your way around now the Grand Escarpment because the trains are like not functioning.
Yeah. And at this point, Zero's really thankful for the rickshaw-style cart full of equipment that he's hauling behind him.
Mm-hmm.
That he wouldn't have minded carrying if he got to ride a train most of the way, but he's really happy he doesn't have to have all this shit on his shoulders right now.
Yes.
Can I ask a question? Is there any lack of functioning in any of Zero's facilities?
No, I was trying to sort of say that earlier too. It's like he may have found that something's different because he's made of like he is an enchanted sort of like magical construct.
Right.
But while things feel a little like there was like an adjustment period, he wasn't really sure if that was just coming back from back to the prime material plane from wherever the hell he was before,
right?
Or if something is different here.
If anything, Zero is a little more lively than he was before.
Right.
Interesting.
And so, as you get closer to where Tarantus is, you start to notice that as you start crossing over the hills and things like that to like where that the big valley area where Tarantus would be, there is just like a crater with a big hole the center of it. Or by the water. You can see that actually water is starting to pour in from the bay and sort of create a whirlpool, like in this area.
Well, that's inconvenient.
And that's where the ley line used to be. For those of you who don't know what a ley line is, it is a source, a sort of a source of magic in a world, like a vein of magic that you draw power from, and that it's kind of hard to explain where it comes from. It's just something generated by the within the planet, within the weave. It's just this very mysterious thing.
And Tarant is sort of like the main vein.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By far the largest ley convergence in the safe world.
Right.
So it was like the carotid artery.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, we'll go with that one.
Yeah. She Kip is sort of like riding with you and talking to you, and she says that we ride for Dragonport. Your allies, my sources say, are being held in a medical treatment facility there in the city, waiting for them to essentially wake up, and they're going to be interrogated.
Wait, in which city?
Dragonport.
In Dragonport, okay.
In the Darrakeen Protectorate.
All right, so we went west a little ways.
Yeah, you've gone past Tarantus and are continuing to ride to the other peninsula. This has been a several-day journey and whatnot.
Yeah.
So we're going to sort of start to sync the timelines here a little bit. So you're starting to ride into Dragonport, this gigantic, sprawling port city. I mean, everything is meticulously crafted here. Even some of the buildings have been gilded in sort of like very like artisanal ways to sort of accentuate some of the features and the architecture of like this historic region. Zero, just from some of the basic programming history and whatnot that you were given when you were built at the project, is that this is a very bureaucratic town with also probably one of the most fierce militaries in the world. So they're just very they're very lawful, like by the book kind of group to a fault. You know what I mean? Fierce warriors, but my God, there's so much paperwork kind of people. And we're going to kind of have your caravan instead of riding into the city, and we're going to cut the camera back to the room that the party is in.
Jarrell is spoon-feeding manservant.
What are you spoon-feeding him?
Like applesauce.
There's no applesauce in here. There's actually a surprising lack of provisions in here.
There's no food.
No.
Not even like bread and milk. Oh well. I guess I'm pretending to spoon feed. I don't know.
Now, does Mort still have his gem?
You have none of your things.
None of my things, not even like my orb, my
No.
gem, my
None of
magical,
your effects. You're
nothing.
effectless.
No.
It's gone.
So my father's dagger is missing.
Correct.
I am
So
in-
is Trixie. Right. We're
I
all
am-
at a loss. okay?
absolutely.
Don't be a dick.
Everybody lost something.
I am not consolable by how wildly
Have you just been wailing in the corner
Yes.
this whole time?
hysterical.
Is
that
any
I
of if anything that you're saying intelligible?
No, because that is something, that's something that
How
I've
different
had
is
my
this from normal?
entire. I've never let that out of my sight.
You're ugly
in
crying.
years. I'm not even. I'm barely breathing.
Oh, like hyperventilating. Oh God.
Mort is going through periods of consciousness
Like
and
that. I'm
unconsciousness.
If anyone has the calm emotion spell, that
Hysterical.
would be perfect right now.
Or just put me to sleep.
If Black were here, he'd have a few scrolls of calm emotions.
Oh yeah, okay. Black is not here.
No.
Black is not here.
He's not
okay.
here.
He
No.
bounced immediately.
He generally carries 3 scrolls of calm emotion in a cigarette case in his breast pocket.
Okay. So when you described him tearing a hole through reality, he was successful.
Yes.
It would appear
Okay.
so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he seemed like
as
he-
far
There is
as
no
you
extra
know.
bed in this room.
Okay.
Either that happened or something else happened.
TBD.
Like, he didn't and he was killed.
which we know wouldn't really stop him anyway at this point.
What, death?
Yeah.
He is death.
Right.
Do what he wants.
He doesn't get to stop himself.
He wanted to keep that body, so he tried to leave. It's pretty much what happened.
One of the simple pleasures in my life is the look on a coroner's face when you kick your way out of the cooler.
Cool.
So then if Mort is just wailing the entire time, Jarrell definitely has cotton in his ears.
Yeah, my
You
entire life.
don't even try to console him. You just put cotton in your ears.
No. I'm trying to console my manservant body cat.
Yeah,
Basically, my entire life has been ruined.
Right.
In this series of events.
That was
It's probably been a couple
That was the
days.
last thing your father
Yeah.
left you.
Yeah, and it's
Just your life.
and that's what makes me magical. I'm pretty much rendered useless without it,
You're still magical.
but not
Right.
nearly as.
But that was a source of
right.
a true amount of power for you.
and my ego is also made out of porcelain, so not feeling like I have anything to offer.
But did you
not
take
helping the situation.
Also, the part where they're convinced that you kind of destroyed half of the civilized world.
that too?
That's not even crossing my mind right now.
Did you make any neat outfit out of the with the robes that they gave you? at
He
least?
hasn't had time because at this moment, the door busts open to this room.
Hooray!
And a gaggle of heavily armored soldiers bearing the Derekine Protectorate colors and shields.
So they're geese?
I was gonna say, are they honking right now?
This is only going to make You're just making it worse. You're just making it worse.
That's the sound their armor makes when they come in. Just
Well, now we know that in addition to like frog people in this universe, there are also goose people.
You know what? Yeah, they're all Aurora, actually. Because that is a real race in the D&D world.
Fantastic.
They are all gigantic birds.
Wow.
Have y'all heard about the word?
Everybody
knows that the bird is the word.
They're just speaking avian, you know.
Canadian geese.
Yeah, and none of you speak avian, so you don't even know what they're saying.
They're just honking at us.
Yeah,
But they have like goofy goose heads.
more. I'd say I liken it more to that they're much more feathered. You know what I'm saying?
Like an emu.
Or just a feathered goose.
Yeah, sure.
You know what?
A boiled goose?
I'm gonna make you do this. Is it obvious to us that they are quacking at each other?
Honking.
More of a honk.
Honking.
Yeah.
Honk, honk.
No,
They're just
it
honking.
looks more like they're saying something as they are marching in formation into the room.
Honk, 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 honk,
Well, they're
honk,
geese.
honk.
Of course, they're information.
How much of a pain in the ass
Flying
do
V.
I want to be?
You want to be a pain in the ass.
They're Aurora.
It's been a while.
Let's get it right.
Yeah, it has been a while.
One person sort of marches to the front of this line. They've sort of kind of created a, like a hallway of like just, you know what I'm saying, like for the commander to enter.
So when you say person, you mean goose.
No, this person now that's
Oh, it's
walking up
human.
is human.
Yeah.
He is bald. He has a gigantic beard. Standing about 5'8". He's not like terribly tall. He's just about average height or whatever, right? And you see he's got on his armor just like all these medals pinned, right? He looks very proper. His armor is very polished and everything's sort of neatly arranged, like the little cape that he drapes over his shoulders.
So like the nature of this guy's appearance is sort of military royalty or
More like he's
Michael Jackson fan.
he's in his show-off armor.
okay.
Right.
His dress uniform.
Yes. His dress armor. It's very much armor.
Got it.
And he sort of walks to the front of the group. He looks at all of you in, your beds, sort of struggling to be awake. Jarrell caressing or consoling his broken retainers. And he says, "Good, you're all up. You're all coming with us. You need to answer some questions."
I need a sandwich.
What does it take for Quinn to stand up? Can I just stand up?
Waiting on a gentleman who was gonna bring me a sandwich.
Yeah, I feel like the softer approach there might work.
He says, "Shut your mouth."
Where's the waiter?
If He just kind of he points at one of them and he starts clucking at them like in that language. And one of them comes over and just like sort of smacks you and knocks you unconscious.
That's not nice.
Grabs him off the bed and begins to just like sort of walking him towards the door.
So Quinn steps up to the commander.
Mm-hmm.
Lord Captain Quinn Southwind, at your service. How can we be of service to you?
You can start by answering some questions. Get your shit together and walk out that door.
Absolutely.
There will be refreshments.
Great.
He seemed very, like he seemed a little defeated as he said that. He kind of whispered that to you. You know what I'm saying? Because of your politeness and your candor.
Jarl's tired. He gets up. He heard there will be refreshments. He starts walking out the door.
Yes,
So why did I get knocked out?
Because you were belligerent.
You were
I wasn't. I was asking questions.
You were being a little bullet.
I was fine,
A little
and you
bit.
know it.
We've seen belligerent.
Your whole court's out of order.
We are humbled by your gratitude.
Once Peridot wakes up, he's putting this whole system on trial. That's right.
Does everybody start to get up and start like maybe cooperating?
Yes.
Mort is now spirit broken. He's now no longer hysterically crying. He's reached a point of just
A shell of a man.
but almost psychotic, and just murmuring. He stands up, salutes the. He says, "Goose leader, I will do anything that you need, sir. Just tell me where to go. I'm all yours. I'll follow you to the depths of hell. And he just starts walking, rambling. I'll go anywhere with you. You just follow me into the hallway. I'll go anywhere with you."
He doesn't even have a chance to shout at you. He's just, what is wrong with that boy? You're all guilty. I knew it. You're all guilty. That man's crazy. Get out of here. Get your shit. Get out.
Oh,
You're already gone. You've already walked away.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Where is Peridot being dragged at this point?
You'll find out.
All right.
Hoblet, are you cooperating?
Take Quinn's lead, dude.
Yeah, but you know what?
You've grown. You've grown as a person.
Has he?
grown
This is
into
because like the last like year or so is really only like a blip in time for a dwarf.
Right. So who's still in the room now?
Just you.
Just Jarrell,
Just
right?
you.
Oh.
No, I walked
right,
right out
right,
when I
right.
heard refreshments.
Yeah.
How many of them are still in the room?
How many of the soldiers are still in the room? All of them. There's more outside.
So they're not. Oh, okay. He's just gonna stand there for a minute.
You're just
for a
gonna-
minute. Just for a minute. I'm not gonna do anything wrong.
Just looking.
I'm just gonna give. You know what?
Mm-hmm.
You giving them all the eye?
What's my gown like? Can you just?
How dirty is it already?
It's brown.
It is brown. You're
brown
not sure
gown?
if you're not sure if that's just the
Long
fabric.
sleeve.
Cut off sleeves.
Okay, cut off sleeves.
And like
Is
a
it-
little, maybe like there's just like a little bit
Is
of
it pants at
hempen.
the top, or is it all?
No,
one
it's a
thing?
one piece, little like hempen rope sort of tying around the waist, so that it doesn't like just start flapping and flying everywhere. But it's just like a long garment,
Like a mix between a hospital gown and monk's robes.
pretty much.
With decorative flame stitching.
No,
No?
Very
Aw.
very plain. Like this is low budget shit.
Yeah, you can't get that for cheap.
No,
It's got to be done by hand.
right, exactly. I mean, like, why would they spend that kind of money on you guys?
Just give you a potato sack.
I'm gonna staring down the. Maybe staring down is a bit aggressive. Looking at the leader of the pack,
Mm-hmm.
Hoblet is going to tear at his garment above the waist.
Uh-huh.
Are you trying to seduce him?
No. And say
Show him
that-
some
and
nip.
what I'm showing him is scars that I have.
Uh-huh.
And I'm going to tell him, These scars are my badges, and I earned them fighting so men like you could wear those silly badges. And then I'm going to start walking up the aisle.
You see him kind of put his tongue in his cheek, and as you kind of cross paths, like so you were kind of walking right next to him, he kind of just kind of puts his arm out, and just kind of stops you, right? Just kind of like just like.
I can't see Hoblet liking that at all.
I'm going to look up. You got something to say, son?
You see him, he is grinning like ear to ear. And he says, I'm going to start with you. And he casts Hold Person. I would like for you to, first I'm going to roll something before you do that. He successfully casts Hold Person. And I need you to make me, I think it is, if I remember correctly.
Better not be a dex save.
Is it a dex save? I gotta look it up now. I forgot.
Probably a wisdom
never
save.
said that out loud.
Person.
I think it's a dex save.
I think it's a dex save.
It's a wisdom
It's a
save.
wisdom save. Make that whiz save.
That makes sense because it's magic.
Saves are up at the top, right?
Uh-huh.
+8 to wisdom, fucker.
Mm-hmm.
23.
You resist the Hold Person. And he says, oh, we're gonna make this difficult, huh?
Aha. I'm...
Competing strength checks, please.
Oh shit.
Greco-Roman.
I mean, if this guy wants to tussle...
Roll for body oil.
That's only on a... Guided strike is only on an attack roll, correct? I don't think
The rest
I
of us
can
are
do it
gone,
to a
correct?
check.
Yes.
Yeah. 14.
24.
It's because I rolled shitty, not because he's strong.
He spins you around and takes the dimensional shackles that you had in your possession and shackles you with them.
Good luck getting out of those.
There's no getting out of those. I know.
You feel a slight bop against the back of your head. You lose 1 hit point and are unconscious.
I didn't heal you.
Quick question.
Mm-hmm.
In my up-close encounter with this fine, upstanding man we've met,
Mm-hmm.
did I catch a name when I got up close to him?
Is he going on your list?
Is he wearing, is he wearing a name?
You know what?
Because I'd much like to know the name of this gentleman.
Sure. I will give you the last name. Badgerson.
Sounds about right.
It's not like Duckington.
Badgerson.
Badgerson.
Gooseman.
Okay.
And this was all because they knocked Paradil out for a sandwich. I would have complied, except he got fresh with my boy.
Okay.
And Jarrell is
but-
eating a sandwich in the other room next to Paradel. Damn it.
0.
Just grinning at his unconscious body.
I mean, I would lay on hands the second I saw you.
0. We're going to cut the camera back to you. You are now, at this point, have been sort of dropped off at the courthouse and holding facility that's towards the harbor area of Dragonport. You begin to see a procession, like a military procession coming by as you are filling out intake form I-296, which is the third in a series of 10 forms you have to fill out as you are entering this facility to register yourself as a visitor and as a what you're citizen. You're having a really hard time answering some of the questions.
Does he have to fill out a D20?
Just because like date of birth for you is a little weird to
triplicate.
explain.
I mean,
So-
some of the details are a little difficult, but this guy was a scientific researcher. Paperwork, he knows paperwork.
Right. It's just it's a bit arduous. So like as you're filling it out, this military procession kind of walks in. And you see them, the two people in the front of and it's like all the Aurora like sort of soldiers, right, with these like big shields, dragging an unconscious Paradil and an unconscious Hoblet in the front towards the back of this like sort of main entry hall like that you were in with like some like the clerk's booths and things like that, right? It's like, you know, sort of intake processing things here at the courthouse.
Yeah.
They're taking it back to the holding center, and you see them kind of go like sort of down a flight of stairs and away.
Also, speaking of tedious paperwork and nonsense bureaucracy, we haven't seen Felix yet, have we?
Oh yeah, I forgot to address him. He complied and is going along with the Derekine Protectorate.
So Felix and Jarl are eating sandwiches.
And he is marching
and
with you
Quinn?
guys.
And Quinn. And crying more.
No, no longer
No.
crying more.
Felix didn't say a word. He quietly got up and marched out. He just looks like crestfallen.
Yeah, you know why? I know why. Everyone knows why. Because he doesn't have a plan. He doesn't have anything to say. Because he doesn't have a plan.
You're like a dick today.
You're unconscious, so he doesn't. So,
You can tell something snarky is going on in his unconscious brain, though.
Right.
of course.
Chuckling.
But side eye.
Zero, following behind them are the rest of your companions. You guys see Zero here filling out paperwork.
Except for Paradol.
You kind of guys like lock eyes as you're being marched towards the holding center, sort of like that kind of, you know, like just kind of watching him walk past, and you guys, you know, just, you know, but there's not really any time for exchange of words unless someone
Jarl
shouts
waves.
something. You wave.
Zero nods, and Zero is definitely a different looking Zero from the last time you saw him.
these fellas look like they've seen better days.
Yeah.
Is Kip still with Zero?
Kip is has left him here. She left you instructions she would be in town for the next few days, just to kind of see how things shake out. If you also need someone to vouch for you, that she can speak to your excellent character.
Yeah.
Because these are dire times,
Yeah,
as we all.
and we were more or less operating under the auspices of, or at least with the support of the
Kingdom of
government
Vesh.
of the
So
Kingdom
she's
of
also
Vesh,
here to
yeah.
make sure that there is no blowback
Yeah.
and any wars started as a result of
Yeah.
your brazen actions.
Because at least at some level, we were operating in an official we, and by we I mean you guys, were operating in an official capacity.
Official, unofficial.
Yeah.
Right.
Privateers.
Yeah.
as it
With
were.
the favor of a certain
Yeah.
kingdom.
The
right.
letter of marque.
Like it's like the assistant to the regional manager. It's like it's not, you know.
Yeah, but you're still responsible.
Right.
Michael's out. Jim's in charge.
So, at this point, all of you are sort of brought into a room. You're all put into different cells in there's sort of these like cages almost, right? But there's enough room for you to sit and, you know, sort of like have at least some room to like move yourselves around. But you're all put into the same room, and like all of these cages are sort of arranged in a circle. And there is a long table here with what appears to be some sort of cloth draped in the back as well.
Okay.
Sort of behind the table. They ask you, the two that are unconscious go into these cells, and the doors are locked. The remainder of you, except for actually Mort, because he was hysterical, also locked cell.
Yeah, I'm manic more at this point.
Right. Felix, Jarrell, and Quinn are placed in two cells with the doors left open. So you're able to just sit, face the person you are going to be eventually speaking to, it seems, but with the sort of modicum of freedom, right, that you've maybe earned so far. Okay? You're marched in, you're sat down, and a few moments later, you see some people kind of scurry in with like another like table, like a small like maybe 2x4 table, and put a chair down behind it. And then you see two people, these like two sort of, I don't know, they're just sort of wearing like, you know, formal like business wear, right? Just sort of guiding Zero into the room, like right over here, Mr. Zero.
So now you guys can kind of see Zero as he's walking in. He's wearing a similar coat like the lab coat he had earlier, except one, it's open at the chest, like about 6 inches the whole way down. And
but it's like fused, right? Like it's like
yeah,
fused open
it's
like that.
fused.
Yeah, so it's like
it's
you
still,
can't close it.
Yeah, it's still white on the outside, but the inner liner of it is almost like a red velvet. He's also wearing bright red pants to go with that, but then it's like he's shirtless. You can see him like the mahogany tone he was earlier, but now it's inlaid with a whole lot of intricate brass work all over, sort of like tattoos.
Huh.
Zero, you look fantastic.
And the collar of his jacket is higher, like kind of a Doctor Strange sort of high up all around.
Super high collar.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like some anime collar going.
But it's like, it's all just like metal, right? It's
Yeah.
plate armor. It's just like, it's just arranged and like and built in that way. Right.
And so he rolls in and I guess sits down.
He has wheels too.
Yes, but those come extra.
Okay.
Yeah. They're outside as part of the rickshaw cart right now.
He's got one of those inline skate shoes. What are those called?
So he just sort of barrel rolls in.
Heelys. There we go. He's got a pair of Heelys on.
More of a mechanical saunter. Okay.
And you guys sort of wait here a beat, and then moments later, your boy. Hold on, I gotta make sure I have the name for the other person.
Badgerson.
Yeah, hold on. So, Badgerson enters the room, and following behind him, there is someone who appears to be in holy vestments, but like really nice. Like they're like, it's almost like this is sort of like a. Like it's sort of like it's vestments and even like these robes that are buttoned at the center a little bit, just to kind of like it just kind of makes them have a little flair, you know.
Yeah, if it has buttons, you know it's fancy.
Right.
My mom said.
I mean, that's kind of what I'm going for here. So yeah, I'm glad you see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a big button fan.
And
I used to be the president of my high school's button fan club.
were you
button
really?
glutton?
What?
Are you a glutton of buttons?
I'm a button glutton.
Wow. Wow, we're here now.
I'm putting on them buttons.
Anyways, as Badgerson enters the room, he's like, "All right, everybody, sit down." Most of you are already sitting.
We're laying.
Yeah, or like
Unconscious.
right. You guys are starting to kind of come back to at this point.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah. All right. I am Detective Corporal Bruce Badgerson. You, as far as I'm concerned, except for you, Mr. Weird Robot Man, are all guilty. Oh, the charges? Reckless endangerment? Destruction of an entire city?
Hoblet is chuckling in his cell while he's listing off the charges.
He actually says going through another rap sheet, too, of just like, I mean, any possible infraction that they can add onto it. The biggest one is the destruction of entire city. That's sort of the one looming.
Do they have like a list all the way back to like Tamasha here and before that even?
No,
Like
he
the
eventually-
whole list of
Conduct.
charges for the whole entire.
Actually,
Conduct.
yes.
Going back a full year worth of crimes.
Can somebody please write that out?
Leveling a tower. Tamasha here.
Petty theft, grand larceny, impersonating.
Menacing and threatening to drown an individual who should have been interrogated by a law enforcement official.
He's still chuckling back there.
It's not our fault they weren't within 200 yards.
Blatant murder in front of children. And he looks at you, Hoblet. You disgust me.
What was the pizza oven?
He
event?
discussed
Which
us
time
all.
was this?
That was back in Tamasha here.
No, Zero is saying out loud, which time was this?
Tell me of your adventures, Badgerson.
You don't get to ask the questions here, friendo.
Good thing you're still writing something down. He's starring.
Wow. Badgerson got
This-
some balls.
At this point,
Even Quinn is like, ooh, no.
At this point, the man in the vestments sort of like kind of starts to stand in front of Bruce Badgerson. and put his hand very calmly on his chest, and he's like, Now, Bruce, there's no need to be crass.
Is his name Alfred Pennyworth?
Gentlemen, I am Dr. Jimothy Merriweather.
Timothy.
I've been waiting for Jimothy.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
And I am here to preside over this investigation as a neutral third party, to calm down our friend here. Have you been offered any food and drink?
We
Now-
were offered refreshments, yes.
Is Paradol conscious yet?
Have you received
Oh no, he's
them?
not here.
No, but your hospitality would be greatly appreciated.
Bruce, my friend, he kind of like turns towards, this man who's still sitting there fuming, right? Let's all calm down. And why don't we just start from the beginning? We'll have a casual discussion, we'll serve lunch. Everything will be fine. I'm sure there was a reasonable explanation for all of this. Does anyone say anything? Or are you kind of just nodding along like, yeah, yes?
I don't know if I could say it was reasonable.
Why? They're about to bring us lunch.
Far beyond reason.
Shut your mouth.
Yes.
See, this is where we have to interject. When you say that, what do you mean?
So, Jarrell gets to start off, I guess.
You talked yourself into it.
Do you honestly believe we could have single-handedly destroyed an entire city? And I'm going to roll a persuasion on that one.
I'll roll on insight.
I got 19.
His insight is actually surprisingly good.
Okay.
And I will actually say that in this case, like, his insight is like, oh, okay, this man is totally telling the truth.
Right.
Okay.
We have been hunting for the source of that destruction for the last... How long, Quinn?
But see,
Months.
here's what I just... Given your history as a group, and some of the actions that Bruce was so kind... I'm sorry, the corporal was so kind to explain in detail, extensively.
Most of those charges were dropped in Tamasha.
I don't want... why don't we just save it with the rebuttals and just listen to me very carefully.
Can we see each other?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I am trying to give Jarrell a death stare.
Habla put his head down as soon as he started talking.
Like I'm doing like the cut on the throat.
Now,
motion.
this is a holy man, correct?
It would appear so, yes.
Of which church?
Give me a perception check to see if you can recognize if he's wearing a holy symbol.
11.
It's the holy symbol of Valen.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell him everything.
Son of a bitch. He is gonna tell him everything.
Thankfully, this guy's
gonna
going to
fucking
be
tell him
clued in
everything.
enough to know certain things.
Right.
I mean, historically, not telling somebody everything has worked really against us.
Now, can we tell?
Maybe
that-
added an episode or two to
So-
a storyline. Sorry.
No, you're all good. Can we tell that like this is an actual follower or holy person? Of
You would not know the difference.
I would not know the difference. All I am saying.
And you've
is that-
interrogated strangers in
Can
the past. in public.
anybody tell if this guy is the real deal or he's just trying to fleece us to give him information?
Jarrell thinks he's the real deal.
Okay, so we're going along with Jarrell.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Right. He says, I need you to listen to me very carefully, because the next words that leave your mouth might make the difference between you hanging in the square tomorrow and freedom.
Am I awake yet? Is Paradol awake yet?
Yes.
Quinn's just grunting at everyone.
Because, fellas, let's just be honest with ourselves. It does look rather
Dire.
bad, given that you all are the only survivors in the loss of Tarantus.
Zero wants to make a perception check also to see,
Sure.
if this is Valen. I feel like he's got enough going on where he might
Sure.
know. Womp, 4.
He is wearing all of the holy vestments. I mean, like this is. I mean, he's definitely done it up a little bit. I think
Yeah.
this is probably because he's wealthy,
Yeah.
But this is very much he's official in your eyes.
Yeah, but I think there's certain things he'd do if he knew very specifically that he was a cleric of Valen, which he didn't pick up probably at a 4, but that this guy's wearing robes, so there's some stuff he's going to hold back on then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of. I mean, like I said,
Yeah.
nothing seems odd. It just seems very official.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I think it's best if we just give in maybe some of the hostilities that have been exchanged between some people. And at this point, Bruce interrupts. He's like, "They're all guilty. I don't understand why you're giving them the speech. Just hang them. Hang them already." Bruce, my friend. You are jumping to conclusions a bit too early. Like I said, I know how all this looks, but I'm sure that if we were just to take each of you individually, ask you a few questions, we can put all of this behind us and get to what's really important here. And that's, what the fuck do we do now?
Can I just make a point here?
If you must.
I can't imagine that you found us in the best of conditions.
No.
I imagine that there was some evidence of a great struggle to escape from Tarantus,
The only thing that
and I think that implies that we might have struggled to get out.
the only thing that actually kept you within any rather modicum of safety here and not being just taken straight to jail to recover from your injuries, there happened to be a visitor here in Dragonport to describe, because there was another crisis in High Rock, and if it weren't for Shalandria recognizing her friend here, none of you would be in the relative comfort that you were in when you awoke.
You made me unconscious again after I woke up from being unconscious.
I did not do any of those things, and I've since talked to the individuals responsible, and he kind of looks at, Corporal Bruce, and we can ensure that as long as everybody cooperates, there will be no need for violence.
How about my need for a fucking sandwich?
See, these hostilities are where I typically don't like to hold Bruce back from, because, you see, the fate of the world is hanging on the information that really only you have.
So
of
give me
course,
some nourishment. Quit being so GD duplicitous here.
we will bring you food when you cooperate and behave yourself.
Don't you understand that the one depends on the other? And you're not putting them in the correct order? Well,
see.
I need
putting
my
them in the
brain to
correct
work
order.
right. I'm cranky. I'm hangry here.
He has, someone fetch you, it's a biscuit and a cup of coffee.
Thank you.
Quinn's kind of shocked that worked.
Okay, so I think that it's best if we start with just getting some opposite sides of the story. So, Hoblet, are we calm?
Nothing. He's just sitting in his cell.
Jarrell, why don't we start with you? And he marches Jarrell out of the room, Kraus, I'm sorry, that was your character.
Yeah.
Corporal Bruce just kind of eyes all of you over again, walks out of the room, and then sends the birds in. And that's where we're going to fade to black on this episode of the Hapless Heroes podcast.
No, just the other.
It's been that long?
The new black. None of the old black. I don't know.
Thank you all for listening. So this is another little cliffhanger, just a little teaser, right? Because we're going to be, it's the holidays now. I'm sure everyone's going to be spending time with their families. We're going to be spending time with our families. We're going to be, doing our thing. So, when the next episode comes out, you get to find out, just exactly what comes out of this and, whether Hoblet can keep his shit together enough to survive.
You already know the answer.
Yeah,
An interview.
no.
Spoiler alert.
Probably not.
Or maybe this party will be down one character.
We're not going to let him die.
One of these people will die. No, I'm just-
Yeah.
Or is he?
I feel like I was just on an episode of Scandal. What the fuck?
We can bring people back to life. So.
Yeah.
We could. True.
George
So we could
H.
die
W.
and
Bush's
still be fine.
picture.
On a very special episode of Hapless Heroes.
We revivify each other for like the entire. Yeah, that'd be a
Right.
great episode.
So that being said-
just everybody keeps dying.
If you
Sorry.
like what you heard, you can find us on the internet, on such places as Twitter and Reddit and all those places, and Instagram. We're at Hapless Heroes and /r/Hapless Heroes podcast. All those places point you to our Discord server, which is super cool. And we hang out and talk and share pictures of our cats and talk about D&D and other weird things, and just have a grand old time in there.
Am I the only one here that doesn't have a cat?
Probably.
I don't have a cat either.
Okay, thank you.
Name's your cat.
No,
Makes me feel better.
No,
I mean,
don't.
Hank is your
I
cat
used
that
to.
I love
I do
more
not.
than you love. So yeah, maybe Hank's my cat.
But yeah,
Shitting on the floor. If
sometimes-
anyone could go into the cat fucking group and tell me how to get my cat to stop shitting on the floor right in front of the litter box like he's just fucking with me.
That's why I
The litter's
don't
It's not like he's
want
fucking
a
with
cat.
The litter's clean. He shit
Yeah.
right on the floor, and the lip is 6 inches.
I mean,
He's
you're,
being a picky bitch about the litter.
you're the one that got the cat.
It's the same litter I've used.
No, he inherited the cat.
I inherited
okay.
the cat. Let's
Fair
not-
enough.
So,
Sorry.
You want him?
Split hairs. No, I want nothing to do with a cat.
anyways, this is just an example
I don't
of
like
some
the
of
pussy.
this is
There it is.
On that note, these are just some of the amazing discussions that we can all have together if you visit our Discord server. If you really, really, really like us, though, we'd love it if you left us a 5-star review on the podcast service of your choice. That would just make me super happy and make my bones tingle in a weird way.
All of them, even his peen bone.
We might even read your words on the air and tell you to your face in Radioland just how awesome of a person you are. And if you really, 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 really like us, we have a Patreon page, patreon.com/HaplessHeroes. We have some weird-ass rewards that if you really feel like spending your money on, we can totally give you those things.
And feed us.
Right. And thank you to all of you who are even doing that right now and are, have done that, are currently doing that. You're the most amazing people in the world. We love you so fucking much.
You fed us recording equipment to make the show for you.
Mm-hmm.
And if you really, really like us, right now you like us, Sally Field, the whole deal,
I mean, I know I do.
I do.
you need to be slicing and disemboweling some protruding sheep meat made clothing closures with no other option. That's right. You need to be cutting and gutting some juttin' mutton buttons or nuttin'.
Good luck, Reinhard.
I can't even. It's on
What
his
the
sheet.
hell just
I
happened?
knew when he said the thing about the buttons earlier that he was definitely some gears were moving up there. I was like, he's gonna do something crazy with buttons, and I don't know what it's gonna be. but
I'm
it's
trying to
gonna be great.
read that sentence off his sheet, and I cannot read it coherently.
It's more of a flow chart down
and
here.
gutting some mutton button.
No.
Or
You need to be slicing and disemboweling some protruding sheep meat made clothing closures with no other option.
Right. Which is
Cutting and gutting some juttin' mutton buttons or nuttin'.
I'm gonna practice that.
That hurts.
I think my brain just.
I think we've just
Absolute
peaked.
unit.
Well done.
I think we've just peaked, and I think that's what we're leaving for 2018.
Yeah, this is actually the last episode of
you
the
next
Hapless
year.
Heroes podcast.
Bye now.
Oh yeah. Let's outro the cast though. Obviously.
Oh yeah.
Dave playing Zero.
Good evening.
John playing Jarrell.
What have we gotten ourselves into now?
Massimo playing Mort.
Grundleston, I'll do whatever you want. I'll become one of your goose people. Honk, 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 honk.
That's the soundbite. I don't care if it's the end.
Massimo goes yard.
Right. Zach playing Paradil.
It's been a great year.
James playing Hoblet.
Another person for the kill list.
And Mike playing Lord Captain Quinn Southwind.
Where's my biscuit and coffee?
And I'm Francesco. We'll see you next year. I love you. Bye.
Bye now.
Bye.
Happy New Year.
Goodbye.